The first time I became interested in survival, I was just a little kid, and I was hearing stories about my father, who was a combat pilot in World War II. And I was realizing that for some reason he had survived, and 9 of the 10 men in his crew had not survived. And it started me wondering why some people survive and some don't. The most interesting thing, once I started studying actual cases of survivors, is that search and rescue people would go out and they would find someone dead who was in possession of all of the equipment he needed to survive and yet hadn't used it for some peculiar reason. Conversely, they would find someone alive who they had expected to find dead, and this person would be in possession of none of the equipment they needed to survive. And so the question became, what really was it inside these people that caused them to survive? And that was the driving force behind my research, was to see if we could find something out about that. What we found out was that the people who survive the best have certain particular qualities. For example, they tend to be the ones who get the information about where they're going. So they know something about what they're doing. It's not a weekend warrior who just happens onto the ski slope or onto the ocean. These are people who like to be prepared. They're people also who tend to be very persistent in what they do. They tend to be organized and be able to calm themselves in an extreme situation. Once they're calm, they're able to formulate a plan. They're able to organize things logically and take steps to help themselves. Interestingly enough, these people are also very socially connected. I've talked to a lot of survivors who said that at the moment of truth, they said to themselves, you know, I have to get back to see my son, or I couldn't do this to my wife. If I died, it would be horrible for her. They always had some social connection back to the real world. In other words, they had a motivation to get there. So this was a very important key. And in the book, Deep Survival, I go through sort of 12 traits of good survivors that I go into a lot more depth with. But these are the types of things that we found generally.